Hey everyone, I'm going to show you how to connect your HootBoard to your Microsoft Outlook calendar. So whenever you post a Hoot, you'll see that a calendar event will automatically happen in Microsoft Outlook. Let's take a look right here. Here is a blank Outlook calendar, and we're going to go back to the HootBoard and start the process. This is a very common feature or asked question for a product. So let's go over here and get started. Let's click on the profile image and start with connectors. We're going to use a program called Zapier. It's an integration platform that enables you to connect popular software to your platform. So you do have to sign in a little bit. Usually, if you click by HootBoard on Zapier, you'll be prompted with the steps. But once you log into the main platform, you'll be prompted to here, and you can see a lot of options. Like any other platform, this is the kind of main area, and you'll want to get started with the area that says Create Zap. That is the beginning of creating this process. Now, we are dealing with two softwares, HootBoard software and the Outlook. So let's start with HootBoard. We're going to start here because the event is a trigger. See, when it's the triggering event is whenever we post a Hoot. And you'll see here there's a few options. The one we're choosing is new Hoot posted to board. And this new Hoot will be like some sort of calendar event, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Next, you need to choose the account specifically associated with this. You have multiple accounts to choose from. And if you're like me, odds are you only have one. So click the one. I'm going to choose the training board. That's where I do the training and all that. So click continue. Next, we're going to test the trigger. Now, to do this, you need to actually have a hoot that the software Zapier can find and use to test that it's there. So we're going to click back to the training board, and just give me a second. And here we are. We're back on the training board. So we have to post a hoot that we can trigger and the Zapier can find. So we post event, and we're just going to use a title, any title. We'll call it training. And it's common for in training decisions that we need to identify who needs to be there. So I'm just going to post some names: Brian, Rachel, Amy, Barry, Randy. Now we need to start with a start date. Let's do June 21st. Click a time, and click a time that is later in the day. Let's do a 30-minute training. You can even pick a color for the hoot. Next, let's add a location. You'll see that the areas do auto-populate, but you can also just type in a word like building 1, and you don't have to click on it. Just click off, and it will choose it. Click on next. All right. We can pick a collection if you wish. We'll call it training. You don't have to do this, but if you want all of the calendar events that are going to be training specific, here we go. Here's a hoot. It's in the training section. And now we'll go back to Zapier and we'll test the trigger to see if it finds it. And we found it. All right. See what this does is it matches up it just kind of communicates the software, their software, like kind of bridges the software so they can communicate with other popular softwares. So this is how they get that's how they do that. So next we need to connect it to Microsoft Outlook. Now Outlook is on here, and you'll notice there's many different softwares. So there's different ways to play with, but we're going to use Microsoft Outlook specifically. Then let's go to create event. And you choose the account. I made an Outlook called Brian Reynolds Hootboard for this specifically. You'll want to have a dedicated Outlook for this specifically. So we'll choose a calendar. You need to identify where we're connect to the calendar on this email address. And then we'll click the title, which you'll see is pre-populated, but needs to identify what it is. So that's the title in the subject line. The start date time. You'll see right here, we're just assigning what the Hoot assigns the start date to what Outlook assigns as a start date so they can communicate down the line. Next, we'll go down to the end date. And this just kind of teaches the softwares how to communicate. And once this is finished, it will do it automatically. But next, let me see if I can find end date. Event end date. There. Oh, and I have it posted twice. Whenever that happens, you can also delete just by pressing the backspace. All day event. This is not an all day event, and that's an optional thing to choose. Let's just pick the days. For description, I think that is right here. Description. You'll see that's called HTML coding. And okay, just double checking. All the requirements are filled out. The description is filled out. Now we can continue. The next thing we're gonna do is it's gonna like lay that out. We can test and continue, and this should uh test it and identify the hoot and then post it automatically on Outlook. See, it says right here, an event was made, sent to Microsoft Outlook, and let's look. And there it is, right there. It was an empty calendar before, and now it is live on the calendar. And yep, everything we wrote right there in the description is available there. So put all the pertinent information in there that is required, and it has the date and start and stop time and everything. You go back, and then the last thing you want to do is turn on the Zap. Very important part of this process is turning on the Zap, and then you'll get prompted and go back to your Zaps, and then moving forward, every time you post a calendar event like this on your HootBoard, the what's it called, the event should pop up there. So let's try it again with this event. Training for new hires. Something that the new hires would need. Please bring your onboarding folders or something similar to that. Every time you start a new hire, usually you get pens and paper and you go to the training sessions. So just something like this, generic, that is common for any onboarding process. And my personal favorite, lunch will be provided. Always a good idea. Using the dates like we did before, and this should do it automatically. The purpose of me doing this again is to see how it happens automatically. Let's make the time somewhere around lunchtime. Does not repeat. It's a one time at a location. Building 1. You might also want to write building 1 or location in the body text as well. That could be helpful. Let's add an image too. So your Hoot board will not just be imageless. This will help. I'll drag and drop an image into there. And so this will make the board look and feel a little bit full and more color, more life to it. You can have a stock footage of training information for stuff like this if you see fit. Click next. Go to training. Hit post now. As you can see, the image is stretched a little bit, but it should configure itself to the best here in a second. Yep, click on that. The Hoot looks good. And if we go back to the calendar, there it is. So when you post a Hoot from the events that has a start-stop time like that, and the body, like in the title, it will automatically send it over here, and you'll be set. Okay, and it looks like automatically sent out. So this is a great way to kind of eliminate if you have a lot of events or trainings or anything on the Hoot board that you want to post automatically into a calendar. Starts with connectors right there, and then you should get going and check out Zapier. That's a good way to take care of it. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if I can help you with anything else.